Welcome back to another episode of The Daily O, sponsored by Firo Pizza. I'm Sierra Williams. Thank you for joining us. The CDC has released new guidelines for social distancing in the classroom. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said today that now students can safely sit just 3 feet apart in the classroom as long as they wear masks, but should be kept the usual 6 feet away from one another at sporting events, assemblies, lunch, or chorus practice. The Director of Maintenance and Facilities at Mundelein High School in Chicago, Kevin Quinn, said, quote, 3 feet gives school districts greater flexibility to have more students in for a prolonged period of time. Students now also no longer need to have barriers in between their desks at school. All of these new guidelines are the steps to safely reopening all the schools for the next school year. President Biden and Vice President Harris are spending the day in Georgia. They plan to reassure an Asian American community frightened by the deadly attack on 3 Atlanta area spas earlier this week. It is Biden's first visit to a state that played a big part in his election. Here's the story.
You still just feel the relief in the air.
Mariama Davis is watching President Biden's first 2 months in office with hope and gratitude.
We actually are about to head back to somewhat of a normal situation that we were used to before. So honestly, I'm satisfied.
She's among the voters who not only helped him carry Georgia, but helped Democrats win control of the Senate, a triumph that paved the way for Biden's agenda. Inside the Beehive, an Atlanta boutique her sister owns and she manages, Davis is already feeling the effects of the American Rescue Plan.
This week alone, we have been gloriously overwhelmed by the numbers we've had.
Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris are visiting Georgia on Friday, the first time since taking office. A trip to promote the COVID relief bill taking a somber turn, as they canceled a rally and instead will meet with Asian American leaders after a rampage here this week killed 8 people, including 6 women of Asian descent. The White House has stopped short of calling it a hate crime, despite calls to do so.
It is very, very troublesome.
For Biden and Harris, there is no state like Georgia.
One state can chart the course, not just for the next 4 years, but for the next generation.
In November, Georgia went blue for the first time in a quarter century.
Well, hello, Atlanta, Georgia!
In January, that win made even sweeter for Democrats after Raphael Warnock and Jon Ossoff swept their runoff races, ending Republican control of the Senate.
I shudder to think about what would happen had Georgians not come out in historic numbers and flip the Senate.
Nsé Ufot leads the New Georgia Project, a voter registration group. Her jubilation has been tempered by backlash, as Republicans are trying to pass new laws to make voting more difficult here. She hopes Biden will prioritize federal election reform, which may only happen by eliminating the Senate filibuster.
I think that the president could clearly and forcefully say that there are no both sides to this debate.
She echoes the sentiment among progressive Democrats, who like Biden but are eager to hear concrete plans on his promises, such as a $15 minimum wage. New season is dawning, but old signs of the Biden-Harris campaign remain. For Democrats, it's been a moment to exhale.
Yeah, it's much more peaceful. I mean, you come out here and everybody's smiling again, and it's just, there's just like a weight lifted off, because you come out and just like, you know, I guess, Toni Morrison, you can breathe again, you know.
And that's how you felt when President Biden took office?
Definitely. You could see it in town. Oh, yeah, everyone was so excited and so elated.
It's that elation that comes to life in conversations with Biden supporters like Davis, who understands the urgency in the minds of some Democrats, but she's willing to give him a bit of time.
Just be patient, like it's coming. Everything doesn't happen overnight, folks know that.
The President and the Vice President will also visit the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to get an update on the fight against the pandemic. Up next, the Daily O's Dylan Walker updates us on all things entertainment news.
Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome back to The Spill with Dill with me, Dylan Walker. I hope everyone is having a fantastic week. On today's episode, I have a ton of fun and shocking news that I just can't wait to fill you guys in on. So let's get started. With Keeping Up with the Kardashians season finale finally airing, the drama is bigger than ever before. Scott Disick spills major tea when he talks to Kim and Khloe about the real reason him and Sophia Richie split up. The couple was on and off throughout their relationship, and Sophie has always had a feeling she was Scott's second choice. So she presented him with an ultimatum and asked him to choose between her and Kourtney. Feeling attacked, Scott said, quote, "And I was like, but Kourtney is Kourtney and my kids. It's a unit. How could you even want that for me?" End quote. Scott confessed that he will never give up on his relationship with Kourtney and the co-parenting situation they currently have going on. If the right person were to walk into either of their relationships, they said that it would only be a plus to the outsider. In breaking Bachelor news, Rachel Kirkconnell is the winner of The Bachelor and Matt James's heart. Well, actually, not really at all. The final episode that aired this past Monday night revealed some major news. When it came time to get engaged, Matt felt that he was meant to spend the rest of his life with Rachel. However, with the recent controversy surrounding her, he felt that it would be better if the two parted ways so she could take the time to, quote, grow and learn, end quote. But the episode wasn't all about Rachel and Matt. They also reveal who the next Bachelorette is going to be. Or more likely, the next two Bachelorettes, Michelle and Katie. That's right, the two girls will each have their own individual season with the chance to find the love of their life and future husband. And in celebration of officially being in 1-year quarantine, AMC is opening its door once again to all movie lovers after a major shutdown. AMC Theaters says that it will have around 98% of its US movie theaters open today and even more open by March 26th. Thank God we are getting back to normalcy. To close out today's show, I'm going to fill you guys in on some top 5 trending TikTok hashtags at the moment, so the next time you're scrolling through your For You page, you'll know what's going on. Number 1 is hashtag fitness life. You also have hashtag oversharing your underwear. Another one is hashtag St. Patrick's Day, obviously. Hashtag competitive gaming. And finally, hashtag crowd cheers. That's all the tea I have for you today, folks. Thanks so much for watching, and make sure to come back next Friday to hear what's been going on in Hollywood.
Thank you, Dylan. Make sure to tune in next week for another update with Dylan. Now we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, Josh Weisel has our weather for the Daily O. I'm Sierra Williams.
Oh, there you go. Superstar.
The end of the practice is when we do all of our, intensity drills.
Okay.
She was going at it.
Stop. If we get them to Detroit by, let's say Monday the 15th. Time's right there. There we go. Yeah. You can't.
Don't want to talk about it.
When you see the water tower, you're gonna make a right.
If we win this, we have one way to get to the playoffs.
I know.
Hello and welcome back to the Daily O. I'm Joshua Weisel here in the Ocala Storm Studios, taking a quick look at the forecast for today. And for today's forecast update, I can tell you that it's a lot calmer than what we saw the other day weather-wise. Starting off with this evening and tonight, as you can see across the area, we're going to be about 58 across the area for this evening, and then we're going to eventually make our way into the 40s overnight. And then to start off your weekend, we've got temperatures in the mid to lower 30s across the area tomorrow morning, so it's going to be a little bit chilly if you're headed out anywhere tomorrow morning. You're going to want a jacket for sure. It will be 40 by 9 a.m. tomorrow. So overall, it's going to be pleasant with clear skies. Moving on real quick, it's the start of spring tomorrow. And with that, we got spring-like conditions. Fully sunny skies almost, with a high of 66 across the region, 66 in Oklahoma City as well. Some warmer temperatures off to our west. Overall, it's going to be a beautiful day. We're just underneath our typical high for this time of year, but it is going to be a beautiful weekend for sure. Make sure that you enjoy the outdoors with these conditions. And then moving on to Sunday across the area. Once again, Sunday afternoon, clear skies turning cloudy as we head into the evening. That's because we do have a low chance for some showers and thunderstorms across the area into the late evening, overnight hours. And then on Monday, we're going to see some showers and storms return once again. I'll get to that coming up with my 10-day outlook. But a high on Sunday is going to be 68. This is close to our average high for that time of the year. And once again, it's going to be beautiful for most of the day, except for the evening when I said there's those low chances for some showers and storms around 20%. So moving on real quick, here's the allergy index, and tree pollen, is actually not as high as it was the other day. So there's some good news for that. Still at a moderate, so if you have allergies, this is going to cause some issues as well. Overall air quality is also at a low, and it could be causing some issues for allergens as well. But overall, the risk for allergens is at a moderate and not at a high as it's been past couple of weeks with our show. So this is just a quick look at the allergy index for today and tomorrow. So here's my 10-day forecast, and like I mentioned, increasing shower and storm chances for Monday, and these it's too early to say if these will be severe. At this point in time, it looks like we're not going to have enough instability to get these to be severe, but overall, there's a chance for showers and storms Monday, low rain chances Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I'm going to step out of the way real quick so you can see the full forecast I have in store. It's overall going to be a beautiful week temperature-wise, as we're going to be in the 60s for most of the week. And as we head into next weekend, a high of 72 on Friday, and then another system will move in, it looks, late Saturday into Sunday with some more rain chances later next week. So like I mentioned, beautiful this weekend until Sunday night into Monday, and that's when we'll get some new rain chances across the area, so just prepare for that before you head out to school on Monday morning. Otherwise, stick around for sports coming up right after this.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Daily O. I'm Connor Bergen, and let's get into all the sports news for today. The tournaments for both the men and women are beginning, but the NCAA has been forced to apologize for their inequities between the two tournaments. This stemmed from a viral video taken by Oregon Sedona Price that showed the differences in weight rooms.
I got something to show y'all. So for the NCAA March Madness, the biggest tournament in college basketball for women, this is our weight room. Let me show y'all the men's weight room. Now, when pictures of our weight room got released versus the men's, the NCAA came out with a statement saying that it wasn't money, it was space that was a problem. Let me show y'all something else. Here's our practice court, right? And then here's that weight room. And then here's all this extra space. If you aren't upset about this problem, then you're a part of it.
The senior vice president of basketball, Dan Gavitt, vowed to do better when speaking on a Zoom call today. He said, quote, "I apologize to the women's student athletes, coaches, and committee for dropping the ball on the weight room issue," end quote. The organization is currently underway, clearing space for additionally weight areas. There was so much going on here at OSU that we need to talk about it, so we have enlisted the help of Alex Dusky from the Sports Report to catch us up on everything OSU as we head into the weekend.
Cowgirl softball started their weekend off last night. The team lost to Wichita State 2-9 at home. The team has 2 games today. One is at 4 p.m. against UTSA, followed by a game against Kansas City right after. Tomorrow, they will play 2 more games. At 4, they will face Wichita State again, and then play Kansas City after to end their weekend. The team is currently 20-3 on the season and are 7-1 at home. Good luck to the Cowgirls this weekend. As I mentioned, OSU Wrestling is in St. Louis, Missouri all weekend competing in the NCAA Wrestling Championship. The team started yesterday and will finish the tournament tomorrow. The Cowboys are competing in 8 of the 9 weight classes and are in a great place to hopefully get their 35th team national title. Cowboy and Cowgirl golf are getting out of this cold and windy weather and are competing in sunny Arizona this weekend. The women's team is in Saddlebrook today through Sunday, participating in the Mountain View Collegiate. The men's team is in Tucson, participating in the National Invitational Tournament hosted by the University of Arizona. This tournament starts tomorrow. The Cowboys finished their last tournament 4th out of 13 and are hoping to have a successful 2 days. Baseball is in action down in Lubbock, Texas with a 3-game weekend series against Texas Tech. Their first game is tonight at 6:30. Tomorrow and Sunday, the first pitches will be at 2 p.m. The team is coming off of a tough weekend series against Vanderbilt from last week and a 6-13 loss to UL Monroe on Tuesday. The 11-3-1 Cowboys are hoping to bounce back and get some important road wins this weekend. Both men's and women's tennis teams have matches this weekend. The Cowgirls started off with an 11 a.m. game against the Texas Longhorns down in Austin. I don't have any score updates for you, so check out Cowgirl Tennis Twitter to see how the team did. They will have a day break before traveling to Waco to take on the Baylor Bears at 1 Sunday afternoon. The Cowboys only have 1 match this weekend. They will face off against Ole Miss Sunday at noon here in Stillwater, so be sure to come out and support the men's tennis team. The track teams will be in Fort Worth, Texas tomorrow to compete in the TCU Invitational. This will start their outdoor track and field seasons. Both the Cowboys and the Cowgirls have had a week break from competing in the NCAA Indoor Track and Field Championship and are ready to get back out there and compete. The Invitational starts tomorrow at 10 a.m. Number 15 ranked Cowgirl Soccer is continuing their impressive spring season tomorrow. The team is on a 6-game winning streak going into their 1 p.m. game against UT El Paso. The Miners are 3-3-1 on the season and have not won an away game yet. Be sure to come out to Neil Patterson Stadium tomorrow to support your Cowgirls. Like I said at the start of the show, both OSU basketball teams have made it to the NCAA tournament. The Cowboys start their run tonight at 5:25. The 4-seeded team will take on the 13-seed Liberty in Indianapolis. If the Cowboys win, they will play at some point on Sunday, so be sure to check out Cowboy basketball social medias to see when they will play next. You can watch the team tonight on TBS. The Cowgirls start their championship run Sunday at noon. They are the 8th seed, taking on the 9th seeded Wake Forest. The team plays in San Antonio, Texas, and you can watch them compete on ESPN.
Thanks, Alex. Be sure and tune in to the Sports Report every weekday at 12:30, wherever you watch our show. The first 4 of the NCAA tournament took place yesterday. The 16 and 11 seeds were competing for a spot in the round of 64. The biggest game of the day was UCLA taking on Michigan State. Michigan State got out to an early lead in the first half with MSU forward Aaron Henry leading the way. The second half was a big one for Jaime Vasquez Jr., who ended up with a big 27 points. They forced overtime, and along with Johnny Juzang helping the cause, Michigan State didn't have an answer in overtime, and UCLA moved on and will play BYU tomorrow. Other winners were Norfolk State over Appalachian State, who will play top-seeded Gonzaga. Texas Southern defeated Mount St. Mary's and will play Michigan, and Drake held on over Wichita State, and they will play USC. In a developing story coming out of Houston, civil lawsuits against Texans QB Deshaun Watson are now up to 12 after a Houston lawyer said he will be filing 5 more lawsuits. The cases are in relation to accusations of inappropriate conduct and sexual assault. Tony Busby, the Houston lawyer, has said he has spoken to another 10 women who have come forward with stories with Watson. The Houston police have yet to say if they are doing an investigation on the matter. Watson has already come out against these allegations and has said that he turned down a, quote, baseless 6-figure settlement demand. Watson went on to say, quote, I have never treated any woman with anything other than the utmost respect, end quote. The NFL has said this under review. March Madness is in full swing now with the South and Midwest region games being played today. Our own Chris Notch caught up with OSU President Burns Hargis to get his picks for the tournament. Check it out.
All right, everyone, welcome into the Ocali Bracket Challenge brought to you by Firo's Fire Kiss Pizza. I'm Chris Notch. With me today, OSU President Burns Hargis. President Hargis, thanks so much for joining me here today.
Good to be with you, Chris.
All right, so of course, main event. Now, real quick, before we get into this bracket, I want to ask you, when you pick a bracket, when you go through it, are you just picking based off the seeds? Like, so the 1 seed's always going to kind of keep beating the lower seeds, or do you kind of look, okay, I'm going to throw in some upsets along the way?
Yeah, honestly, the only basketball I really follow is the Big 12, so I'm not very knowledgeable about the others. But there's always, for example, I think Texas Tech is a real threat for their. They were seated way down there, and their losses to Kansas and Baylor, and to us, ours was in overtime. So I think they're a sleeper that you got to watch out for. Okay. And there's some others on here that I think that are that way. But no, normally, if it's the 1 versus 16, I'm going to take the 1.
For sure.
I know once in a blue moon, the 16 wins, but
yeah, took one in 140 tries, and it finally someone finally did it. That's
right. That's right.
All right. Well, we'll get started into this. We'll start here in the West. Gonzaga versus the winner of the Norfolk State Appalachian State. Who do you have in that one?
I got Gonzaga.
Okay, of course.
I don't think that's a surprise.
Right, and the only undefeated team currently that's in the tournament, trying to be the first since 1976 to win it all and go undefeated, joining the last team to do it, Bob Knight's Indiana Hoosiers in 1976. And oddly enough, this is also the first tournament since then where Duke nor Kentucky are actually in it. So,
North Carolina's barely in it.
Yeah, and they barely got in as well. So, moving on here,
the Blue Bloods.
Right, yeah, those Blue Bloods struggled this year. Moving on, 8-9, Oklahoma, Missouri. Who do you got?
I'll go with OU. I think they're going to come back. I think I think Barry Manick's going to start hitting again, and Austin Reeves is a great player. So I just kind of think they'll. But Creighton's really good. I mean, they'll really have to play well to beat them.
Yeah. Coming up next here, we have number 5 Creighton versus University of California, Santa Barbara, 12 seed. Who do you have here?
I got Creighton.
Creighton, okay. Moving on, Virginia and Ohio.
I've got Virginia.
Virginia, okay. Going.
They were last year's champs, weren't they?
Yeah, 2 years ago, actually. So, yeah, they are the, I guess, defending champions, as they have kind of called them, so to speak. So.
Be sure and head to our YouTube channel, OMG Media Group Video, to watch the rest of the bracket special and see who Hargis has winning it all. It may not be Oral Roberts as of today. After the 15th seed, Oral Roberts has defeated the number 2 Ohio State, and many brackets, including my own, have been personally affected, and it's a tough one. But thanks for tuning in to today's show. Make sure to follow us on social media at @TheDailyO_TV. You can also watch our show on Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, Roku, and on Sudden Link Channel 112. We'll see you next week for The Daily O. I'm Connor Bergen. Have a great weekend, and go Pokes.
The Daily O is brought to you by Firo's Fire-Kissed Pizza.
Tired of paying for parking at those other airports? Fly Stillwater Regional Airport. We offer proximity, free parking, and short security lines. Still making long drives to Oklahoma City or Tulsa just for the airport? Stay close to home and fly with Stillwater Regional Airport. Daily nonstop flights to DFW with 800 plus flight connections in 29 countries.
Oh hey, I'm sorry I didn't see you there. I'm not sure if you knew, but the Ocali has been doing big things this past year. Let me give you the rundown. Ocali TV had over 100,000 views in 2020. And listen, the traffic on the Ocali website is mind-blowing. Ocali.com had 1.5 million page views in 2020. But wait, there's more. I know you guys love social media, being that you're young and all, so I'm gonna let you in on some stats I recently got my hands on. The Ocali's Twitter has 19,000 followers, and its Facebook 10,000 followers, and it's only growing. The eCollie even has 2,200 followers. Crazy, right? I'm thinking with those stats, the only option left is for you to join in on the fun. Come join the cool kids. They're all probably looking at something on the Ocali right now anyways. Okay, that's all I have for you. The Ocali, fighting fake news since 1895.